the #1 Costa Rica real estate and investment podcast, bringing you experts from all over Costa Rica.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to episode 188 of Costa Rica Real Estate and Investments with me, your host, Richard Beckson. Today, we're going to be talking with Patterson. He's a partner and also broker with In Love with Costa Rica. It's a creative and complete real estate company here in Costa Rica, kind of a focus more on hotels. But we're going to be talking to him about his experience and advice for people looking to invest here in real estate in Costa Rica. Some exciting news, guys, here at Costa Rica Investments. If you go to the website, investingcostarica.com, and you sign up for our newsletter, we're about to actually start a newsletter where we will be actually emailing out investment opportunities here in Costa Rica that we've created ourselves, but also investment opportunities of analysis that we've done on properties here in Costa Rica. So, for example, we take a condo, we take a look at it, we say you could remodel at this. That this is how much the investment would be to remodel. This is what your vacation returns look like, and kind of give it a grade based on a variety of different things like its location, distance from beach, its rentability, occupancy, average daily rates, and also what we think its resale is, and give it kind of a grade like Moody's. So as Moody's give countries grades with bonds and companies, we actually give the grade to a property. So if there's a property you'd like us to grade, feel free to send it across. But actually, if you go down to the homepage midway and view our curated investments there, you can click it, go in, and you can actually see them there. You just need to sign up, but also sign up for our newsletter, because I think that's where I know a lot of you are very interested in investing in Costa Rica, that we will actually be creating some investment vehicles here like we've done in Manuel Antonio that's now fully funded. I mean, literally, I think within 2 weeks, we fully funded that whole project. So thanks very much for everyone that got involved. I know a lot of you listening in. Again, we're in construction documents at the moment, and begin construction basically in May to be finished by probably January, but I'm pushing the guys to get ready by December. So I know they're having a bit of a sweat on about that, but we'll get there. And again, if anyone wants to reach out to us, they can do info@investingcostarica.com. That's info@investingcostarica.com. Also in the description down below, you can get a free 15-minute consultation with us. You just click that link and basically kind of chat with one of the guys here in the office. But again, if you need anything, reach out. It doesn't matter about anything. You just want to have a discussion. We're very, very open to helping people. As I've said, always, I'm a sucker for helping people. So you can just click the link that's down here. But let's get straight into the podcast. Good morning, Rock. How you doing?
I am doing really, really good today. Very good. Thank you.
No, I appreciate you coming here and joining us here on the podcast. I know that you spend quite a bit of time down here in Costa Rica, probably not as much as you'd like to, but wanted to get you on here and kind of just get your viewpoint and see if we can give some pointers to the guests that are looking to invest here or investing here, and just get kind of your viewpoint.
Thank you. I'm honored. What little bit I can offer to the subject, I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it.
Not at all. Well, I mean, the first question I like to ask is, markets seem to have stabilized a little bit in, 2024. I say markets have stabilized. I think some of them are at all-time highs. But, I mean, how has your volume of inquiries and work been in Q1, compared to, say, Q1 2023 or last year? I mean, what are you seeing?
Due to my relationship with EXP,
yep,
big company in US and Canada and now all over the world. I just joined them about a year ago, and due to that, and just basically everything still climbing out of COVID, it still seems that we should be talking about that, but especially in Costa Rica, it's just growing and growing on markets. The smaller hotels, luxury hotels, those type of things. I think we have 3 small hotel chains or groups they're having a search for properties in all the popular places, all the key places along the Pacific, and then Arenal and Fortuna, those places. But it's busy. We're active. We've got some big ones. Those are a little bit slower, but it's strong. We're doing very, very well as far as a lot of activity, a lot of interest. They're keeping us busy.
Why do you think there's all that activity and interest?
There's a lot of money in the US unspent. There's a lot of money there. If I don't know your impression, but everywhere I go, it's U.S. investment. It's U.S. inquiries. When I'm looking for a hotel, it's from a U.S. investor or Canadian investor. There seems to be a lot of money they're looking to or needing to invest. And again, South Florida is still in our market and in our world. South Florida is still the favorite, but there's a lot of interest in Costa Rica just due to the dynamics of the country and the focus on ecotourism. And I call it the 51st state. Whenever I talk about it in my U.S. people, I would
Yep.
never tell that to the Tico audience, but to the U.S. market, it's very attractive for U.S. and Canadians. Our problem is finding European. This is one of those things I'm really uh, focused on attracting the European investors. So that's our next project.
Wow. Well, I mean, I agree. There's just a lot of money sloshing around out there at the moment that's just looking for a place to invest because, I mean, what are your options? I mean, real estate, you don't know where it's going to go. The stock market's an all-time high. You know, interest rates are kind of holding. You've got an election at the end of the year. There's just so much uncertainty. And, you know, what investors don't like is uncertainty. And unfortunately, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Whereas the certain thing about Costa Rica is it's going to be green. There's going to be abundance of, you know, sun and great food. And yeah, I mean, it's as you said, I mean, yeah, it is kind of like a 51st state and just very secure.
I people are surprised how secure it is. That's the education part. Again, you've been doing longer than me, is the education part that it is secure. Now we've earned some negative things through the real estate industry, well-deserved things that I have to bypass or I have to clarify for folks, but it's clearing up. It's clearing up very well, at least for our use, for our clients. That type of thing. That you're safe. It will be secure. Not so much safe from worry about crime, but just safe that when I invest there,
Yep.
I've got it. It's my property. People still wonder if they have to lease or they can't own anything, and
Yep.
some of that confusion's still there. But it I just the future is very bright.
I agree.
I'm in Orlando right now, and it is between Orlando and Texas. It's a competition. Some of the less taxed states in the U.S.
Yep.
are just growing because of the volume of the North and the Northeast. So that's gonna spill over
Yeah.
to us in Costa Rica.
I agree. I agree. I mean, from what you've seen, what do you think are the main mistakes that people make when investing in Costa Rica?
Trusting, not doing their homework. Because you follow somebody on a YouTube channel or somebody like me, and I'm not big on Facebook. I'm not big on those things that a lot of folks are, and I'm not against those. But um, the it, the complaints I've gotten from agents and buyers for homes and things, they've just got hooked up with the wrong people, and
Yeah.
that they don't understand the market as far as here in the U.S. An agent, he's liable for a whole lot of things. We're selling our house here in Orlando, and the documentation and that gentleman's license who's going to list my home for me,
Yep.
it's huge. He's liable for a whole lot of things. And so that's the biggest things. And it's weeding out. I think it's weeding out. Again, I'm not in the weeds all the time on the residential. I'm
Yep.
I'm I'm too much involved with the residential. Um, but the investors now, they're wiser. There's the international people. They understand we've got a wonderful attorney that's part of our group, and that's all. He's my safety. Uh, uh, he's my poppy.
Yep.
He's our gatekeeper. So that's how we do that. That's been the issue, I think, in the past, is people went right to an agent, assumed the same regulations apply to an agent as they do in their country, and you
Oh,
know,
there is no regulation here. Zero.
I I tried to say it in a better word, but for that, and I tried not to mention names, but um, we're going to maintain. We're going to be my group. I'm a partner. Um, and again, when I got Juan Pablo involved, our attorney, I just felt like, oh my goodness, he's Legal Corp is. I just feel like I'm under the umbrella of maybe not Jesus, maybe not
Yeah.
Jesus, going to keep us
Like a
protected. So
like
I'm
a comfort blanket.
there. You go. There you go. That's and
Or a
he is
yeah. Yeah.
very diligent, service oriented, international experience. I'm safe. So I again, I'm an ultra ethical guy anyhow, but that doesn't make me, because I'm on your podcast, that doesn't make me ethical because I say I am. So having him on there, having him part of our group, makes all the difference in the world. And that's what I tell everybody. Again, not just him, but there's good attorneys are excellent there. But
Oh, I think you said it, Rock, is realtors don't need to be licensed here, but realtors do that, but lawyers do. Like notaries are part of the college of the legal college here, notaries and lawyers, like they can lose their license if they don't do something correctly. So, getting a great lawyer here is really like a tiger rock. It keeps the tigers.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've got two great engineers, Victor and Danny. They're two great engineers. A long time ago, Elisa Fernandez is a friend of mine for 10 years, I think now. I learned a lot from her, and it's the same thing. You get somebody like this who's going to inspect the place, who's going to make sure the grounds beneath it's not going to
Yep.
uh, shake, rattle, and roll. You're going to be on solid ground, literally.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing when I'm talking with my EXP friends. They think they know, but it's a little different of the world. But I also don't want to scare them away, because I do believe the potential and the lifestyle is just as long as you find the right
I agree.
people.
I agree. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity down here, but there's also a lot of, I would say, malinvestment potential down here as well. And I think, as we've said here on our podcast a lot of times, is your project's only going to be as good, or your investment's only going to be as good as the team that you have on it. So, it's you really need to make sure that you have a great team and just be wary. I mean, I always say trust, but verify everything.
That's just the way it is. And um, again, I don't mention I don't discuss names unless they're in private, but we do. Again, I'm very comfortable with us. First of all, our intentions are not going to be that way, but you could also make a mistake by just not knowing, or omission or something like that. So that's why, again, I'm a master delegator. On our website, In Love with Costa Rica, I've got about 2 sentences talking about me, because I don't know anything, but I know experts.
Yep.
I know the legal experts. I know the engineer experts. I've got a financing expert, JC. So introductions,
Hey, Rock,
make sure we take care of the customer.
the art of business is being a great middleman, dude.
It's the truth.
So
It's the
yeah.
truth.
I mean, what do you think are some of the misconceptions that people have about Costa Rica?
Oh, we laugh. My wife, we laugh a lot, because she lived in the city, so her whole life is they think there's monkeys
Yep.
everywhere. There's still that image that nature's all over the place. That there's not really nice homes. That there's really not nice, great neighborhoods. Not just on the beach and $5 or $10 million papagayo places, but every place is safe, and from wild animals. I think that's one of the things. Roads, uh there's a little bit of that, and there's a little bit of truth to that when you get out in the middle, but
But
they're improving.
Rock, I've seen at the moment over the past 6 months more improvements in roads than at any other time
Uh,
during my 20 years being here. Like it's a mess at the moment because they're diverting traffic, but it's going to be worth it. Like that pain is going to be worth it.
I am thrilled. My biggest corner was coming down from Alajuela, the highway, and
Yep.
making it because we go to Hatillo for family.
Yeah.
Going whatever that's messes, but you go straight to the Savannah and then you go, holy cow, they're building a new lane. I was like, holy cow, and up where the free trade zone in Alajuela,
Yeah, near the Coyol. Yep.
and Coyo right there.
Yep.
And that turn off, I got stopped one time. A cop was very nice to me because I cheated. I wasn't
And you went around
realizing
the
all,
outside and tried to get in. Oh,
and
yeah.
I
Hey,
I
I've done it, Rock. We've all done it.
I try not to. I try, because
I get it.
I was very polite with me. He still gave me a mild warning, a ticket warning, and I didn't do it again because it's like, don't be one of those jerks, Rock. Uh, so
But
anyhow, it is getting a lot better though.
I love the cops here. So I once got caught speeding. I mean, I was well over the speed limit, but I had my friend, I'd been fishing and I had my friend in the car and he's really hairy. And it was a Sunday and the guy stopped me and he was like, dude, you were doing like 140 kilometers an hour. Like I need it was in Nicoya. He was like, I need to take your car away from you. But like, why were you driving so fast? And I said, dude, what time is it? And he said, oh, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I said, man, I've got an hour before the zoo closes and I need to get him in his cage. And the guy just pissed himself. And like, then like, was just like, dude, drive carefully, just go on. Like, that's the beauty of Costa Rica of like, it's all very relaxed.
Yeah, no, that's the only time I've driven there. Never had an accident, never had even a ding.
Yep.
And that says something when as much as I drive in the city. But she always complains. My wife always complains about my driving there. She says I'm turning into a Tico. I'm a Tico. I'm a Tico. But it's like you got to go with the flow,
I
and
agree.
you're fine. You're
Adapt and
fine.
survive, man. I mean, if
Yeah.
you, I mean, here it's hand on the horn and foot on the brake, but like it's, you have to adapt here to driving. I mean, it's very different, I think, outside like the beach areas, even though, getting in and out of Tamarindo is a bit of a nightmare at the moment, but like the
Yeah.
city, there's traffic, I mean, it's just how it's going to be, but they are working on improving it.
Very, very much so. And I never honk. I
Yeah.
never honk. I never honk.
Well, where do you think the market is going to go in 2024 here in Costa Rica, Rock?
Again, I'm a small, we're very, very small,
Yeah.
very boutique. We don't have any kind of big giant research department other than what I read. Um, it's still, I was talking to one of your buddies, Joshua.
Yep. Josh
It's
Whitman.
still but it's still luxury. It's still small hotels. I'm still getting asked for those. There's still a huge market for that. I know the big ones are still coming. There's not a lot of great property anymore available for the large ones, but I
There
hope,
is. There is. You just need to know where it is.
well, where they want to be.
Sure. I mean, up
Uh,
in
that
Papagayo or,
that
I
that's
mean,
what I get.
yeah.
If you go, there is, and they're not as cheap as people hope to get. But you're right. There's quite a bit more as you get further. As you get towards the central,
Yep.
it is moving that way. But I think that still that market. But I mentioned our mutual friend is that that I still want to capitalize on that. What I say is the 51st state is that there's a huge market for seniors. There's a huge market for it does I don't think luxury. I think luxury is still going to always be there, but I would just love to see a middle priced range
Yep.
for people that make it easier. It'll improve. That's what I see uh, uh, coming in the coming years, at least in the soon. That's what I'm hoping for.
I think
That's what we're promoting.
the difficulty is, because I've operated hotels, I've got a bunch of friends that own them and run them, is just the costs are just so high. I mean, with payroll and then social security and the food costs, and now, the dollar to colon, meaning that like, 2 years ago, it was nearly 700. Today it's at 500. So, I mean, that's a 30% drop. it's probably like 23, 24% overall drop in the dollar has dropped against the colon like 23%. I mean, that's huge when it comes to construction.
Yeah.
Your expenses just went up 23% as well.
Yeah.
But your income didn't go up 23% because you're charging in dollars. So they've had to get kind of a lot smarter about cost control, but also is trying not to pass too much of that onto the client, because Costa Rica is expensive enough. It's like, it's expensive here.
I I would agree. There's got to be again, we don't think interest rates are going to go. We think by the middle of the year they're going to be going down a little bit further down here. It's going to help everybody like that. I don't know what's that going to do to our market in Costa Rica, but there'll have to be some adjustments. Again, it's still very attractive from our folks. I cannot talk some people out of it. Again, we've got 3 chains. They're not all American, but it's still a cost effective. It is high. It's expensive here for what we're used to, but it's still cost effective. Labor versus labor here.
Labor here wants to work as well. They work hard.
Dude, when one of the things I try to promote too is the educated market and the willingness. There's a beauty. This is the beauty. This is one of the beauty. It's an undersold is the people. I've got nephews and nieces that just incredible, beautiful people wanting a good paying job, wanting to contribute, just like it was 50 years ago in California when I was young. They want the same thing.
Yep.
Buy a home. They're not asking for much. So, like I said, and the cost effectiveness of labor is a lot. In fact, that's one thing I'm going to start pushing more is even just manufacturing, getting in there. It's not really in it for me. I guess I could sell a parcel of land, but I just love the country so much. That's why we promote it all over the place. I like everybody to try to get in there and take advantage of it because I've got family that need jobs.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of Costa Rica's most underrated assets is its people, and we don't talk about them enough. Like, I overpay staff in my office. Like, I'm constantly overpaying. The reason being is, I've been in business before where I've lost key employees for a couple of $100, and I was like, God, man, like, I kind of believe that you should give those raises when they're earned rather than being like when they leave and then having like people should never be leaving, basically.
No, that's leadership 101 that sometimes gets forgotten. And loyalty. It's not like you're buying loyalty, but people are there for the darn paycheck, and there's still some of that old school mentality that maybe doesn't always treat their employees like they should. And whenever I see a public, Promocore or Cindy, somebody talking about jobs, I try to add good paying jobs, right? I mean, I try to put something in there that says, don't low American people. Come on, you're gonna be doing good. I know it's an investment, but don't be cheap.
If you nickel and dime, you're going to get nickel and dime service. So, I mean, they are the face of your business to your customers. So, I mean, look, I've been in the service industry, my whole adult life. So, I have a philosophy here, which is just pay people well, treat them well, give them, a wide berth of just give them a general direction. And people are smart. Like, people will work it out. And in this country, they're very well educated. They speak great English as well. Like, they will amaze you if you give them the opportunity to, like, just guide them.
I could not agree. That's basic humanity. I think most people, I come from a very Christian I was a minister a long time ago.
Right.
I was also in healthcare. I was also a director in healthcare for many, many years, California. And my last gig in Orlando was what do we have 300 plus employees, and that's the top thing is serve. Servant leadership is
I agree.
the most important. It's just the most important thing, and it carries over into your business, to your customers. Serve. you'll get paid. Eventually you'll get paid. Sometimes you'll get burnt. Sometimes you'll
Yep.
lose something, you'll lose a nickel, but the value you bring when you serve people and you serve your team. We got off the subject a little bit, but
We did, but
very, very, very important.
I'll end it just for any of the business owners out there by like the one thing that was always stuck with me my whole career is this. When somebody leaves a business, they're not quitting the business, they're quitting their boss. So
Yeah.
if someone quits, it's a failure of whoever their manager was, not of the business always.
Dude, you're singing my song. It is turnover. Turnover was my top metric.
Yep.
There's some turnover you want.
Of course.
It was good. It was good. But I wanted everybody to project my heart.
Yeah.
And my heart is to serve. And you can go out of your way. Again, I think that's what my group actually what in love with Costa Rica. I think it was they're not my team, but that our group is serve
Yeah.
first. Commissions and things will come in later, but serve that client first, even if you lose a little bit the initial.
I agree. Well, I mean, what are some of the areas? I mean, you've talked about there that like it's very difficult, especially in the northern Guanacaste areas, to kind of find properties. It's very, but I mean, what are the areas of Costa Rica that you still think have opportunity here?
I tell you, it's still the Pacific. It's still going down south of Tamarindo, and Gofito's getting. I've gotten. We've got serious buyers looking in that they want out in the middle of the jungle. They want a little more remote.
Yep.
Of course, they always want beachfront or
well, which you can a little bit more easier to get there.
Yeah, no, and that's it's a way out. It's out of our normal range, but we've got friends that help us, and that's still got a lot all the way up. There's a lot of room there for I mean, all the way up to darn near Jaco.
Yep.
There's a lot of opportunity there. I'm wondering when the central area is going to get hit, because there's some giant properties there on the beach. It's still a little on the
You mean like
Tico.
Bejuco, Estarrios, Parrita, Palo Seco, all those areas, like between Antonio and Jaco.
Yeah, there's a few of those I think in the coming years because of just growth. I mean, I could see it several 100,000 new people coming in the next couple of years wanting a place to live. So what are we going to do? And the primaries are just going to go. They're going to get out. They're going to price themselves out, I think. But there's a lot of room, and then they're even up in the hills, everywhere. If you get a little bit away from the beach line, there's a lot of room there. That seems to be. I still am waiting someday, because you know this probably better than me. Limon, that the Caribbean coach is still, that's got to get tapped somewhere. That is, I know it's maybe, I'm talking 10 years away, but the beauty, I know traffic, I know there's a lot of issues. I know
they're improving the road.
It is.
A lot of money in that road.
I just see that as something in the next
I think
years.
there are a few things. I mean, I think when you say Limon, you mean like Puerto Viejo, Cahuita, Cocles,
Yes.
areas. Just because, I mean, Limon is a port town, so it's not that beautiful. And like, it's probably not a great town to do much in, just because those port towns, I mean, are probably the most insecure areas in Costa Rica.
It's Punta Neras is this, it's that area.
Exactly.
Same, yeah.
It's all port towns, they're the two, Punta Arenas and Limon. But I agree. I think that what holds it back is that when people think of Caribbean, they think of the Caribbean, if that makes sense. They don't think of Costa Rica. And I think that that's the thing, because if someone's looking to like, hey, I want to go to the Caribbean, they're not going, okay, Costa Rica's on the map. It's Antigua, St. Bart's, it's the Bahamas. Like, you've got all that Caribbean there. And so when comparing it with that, it's really difficult. But if you've been to Costa Rica before and you love it, and you're looking for like, I call it like the, it's kind of, if you took the Caribbean and Costa Rica and mixed it in a cocktail and then poured it out, that's what you'd have. Amazing food, like that relaxed Caribbean vibe, beautiful beaches, coral reefs, palm trees. Like, it's just great. Like, I love it.
I could not agree more. But we can't even get Ticos to
Well,
want to go there, to want to visit there.
look, I just
And
had my
I,
friend Colin sell his Hotel Banana Azul dude to a Panamanian group. Like things are starting to move down there. There was a group from New York that I advised when they purchased a big piece of land down there that are doing a development. Like things are moving there for sure. But yeah, I mean, Costa Ricans like to go once kind of a year, but it's it's the Caribbean. I mean, it's just so much easier. Everything's always been on the Pacific. I mean, Costa Ricans are
yeah,
used to going to Punta Arenas, Jaco, Playas del Coco, 30 years ago. So it's still there,
yeah,
But
yeah.
well, I was actually going to ask you the question if you want to make a speculative play over 5 to 10 years, but it sounds like the answer to that would be Le Mans, like those southern areas. Is anywhere else?
Well, for real estate, yeah. Again, for something long term, I would think so. Uh, we've got something coming up in Erazu near the volcano up there. That area that's just gorgeous, just gorgeous. That's probably got. There's probably going to be a need there. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I was up there this weekend.
I Oh, good, yeah, gorgeous. I kind of go organic. I think we're we're so small. I go where customers want us to go. Somebody asks us, and I find out if we can serve it or not, or if I can find something for them, and we go there. And that just seems how our little group has grown. It's been more organic, not necessarily planned, but as customers need. We've got something going on Playa Grande.
Yep.
Uh, just it's been that way, more organic. We do have some properties on the central area, but it's still not. Land is still not a fast mover.
Well,
That's
I
not a.
mean, I think if you're going to do anything commercial, you just need to have the water infrastructure, and that's the one thing that's lacking in this country. Of like,
We're still not there. Yeah,
commercial water letters like Playa Grande needs commercial space. It's not getting commercial space because there's no water letters for it. Flamingo needs a little bit. They're going to get a little bit, but that's it. But Tamarindo is not issuing water like commercial water
yeah.
letters, so
That's
it's
a.
just not. It's kind of what's there is not coming, and I think that the water infrastructure really like restricts supply and keeps kind of as long as the demand is there, so prices keep going up.
Yeah, you're
You
exactly
know,
right.
I'm
That's
not
right.
sure it's intentional at all. I don't think it is. I think it's just, yeah, bureaucracy.
I think that's the big word.
I mean, that's the beauty of this country. Like, none of that stuff is planned. It just happens. Like, I always say that Costa Rica just woke up one day and went, wow, we've got penicillin. Like, all these decisions that they made, getting rid of the army, creating a social security system here, creating the national park system, really focusing on ecotourism and attracting investors. All of these things weren't planned. It just kind of happened.
But they're leaders in some of these. They're leaders in
Correct. Yeah. I mean,
it. It's what's
it was one of the first countries in the world to have like street lighting. Like San Jose, I think was country number 3, I think, in the world behind Paris and London, or maybe New York or something, to have street lighting, like electric street lighting.
I've seen the photos. I've seen, like I said, it's those things, just
Yeah.
whatever. I
Wow.
love it.
Well, Rock, my last question for you is I'm sure my wife is waiting because it's my daughter's 11th birthday today. So I have an afternoon of bouncing. So, yeah. But
Take care. Take care.
if you inherited $500,000 and you had to invest it into a business or real estate in Costa Rica, what would you invest it into, Rock, and why?
I'm going to say something outside of real estate. One of the things I would do would be uh, perhaps buy something in Catalinas or Tamarindo Park, something like that, lease it out. I'll go something a little bit different. It came up on us a few weeks ago. Thermal Energy Storage Solutions, TESS. It is, I've got to do a better job, and maybe this opportunity will help. I've got to do a better job announcing that product. It is the most carbon-free energy. I'm not an engineer at all. It is the revolution. It's going to revolutionize electricity, and that it would be just so perfect if I could get somebody to buy one thing for what some of the solar farms.
Yep.
They would attach one of these things. There are a few of these things. It increases their energy output. It stores energy, so we don't have all these up and downs in Costa Rica, outs, and the inconsistency, that kind of thing. I just was reading, checked it on the news yesterday. Virginia is the data center capital of the United States. It's near Washington, D.C., so I'm sure that's why and they're dying because they're pulling all the electricity from the grid. And I thought, I wish I knew somebody, because this company, they're out of Canada. It's a phenomenal company. TESS. I'll give you that one. I would invest, get something there, and
I like
that would
that.
just explode. Carbon free and all that. That'd be one of my fun things.
I like that's a first on the podcast, but I definitely like. I mean, again, as you said, Costa Rica is a leader in this stuff, so I mean,
Oh,
why not?
it for large buildings, it stores from heat, not from the sun. It stores the energy from heat. So large buildings can be their own grid. It's like I said, I'll have to introduce you to one of the guys and have him
Please
be on
do.
the podcast. He's
I love it.
amazing technology.
Wow. Well, Rock, this has been great. I really appreciate you taking time out of what I know is a busy
Thank
day
you.
to come here on the podcast, and I'm sure we'll get you going again in the future.
We will do it. Happy birthday. Enjoy the party.
Thank
Enjoy the
you.
party, boss.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
man. Thanks for having me.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that podcast there with Rock. Rock is just someone that's very passionate about Costa Rica and kind of helping people invest and make the right decision here. So all of his contact details are there in the description down below. If you've enjoyed the podcast, guys, please share it. If you'd like to sign up for our newsletter, as I mentioned on the introduction there, we're going to have a lot of interesting analysis that we're doing there. It's not a typical real estate, kind of newsletter. It's really focused on investment analysis here, which is a lot of the stuff of what we do, of just making sure people make the right decision, get perspective, and understand what their investment could look like here. With impartiality. We're not trying to sell you anything. You can actually just go off and buy it on your own with, Coldwell, Remax, one of these guys, Blue Water Properties. We just do kind of a lot of the analysis and give you that information. If you need anything, you can email us info@investingcostarica.com. That's info@investingcostarica.com. You can also book a 15-minute free consultation with us. The link is down below. But again, if you've enjoyed the podcast, please share it with people. Give us 5 stars, give us a review. I love to read them, and just really appreciate the support and all the contacts that everyone is making here. And we're here to help and provide information. So until the next podcast, see you soon. Bye.
The #1 Costa Rica real estate and investment podcast, bringing you experts from all over Costa Rica.